Go.
Thanks, Z. How's Rassie? Hope you guys are doing well. Rassie, just quickly off the test, of course it's a big one against Ireland, but 3 nominees who will Player of the Year. You must be thrilled with your lads' achievements being recognised with Ox Malcolm and Peter Steff in line for a massive accolade come the weekend.
Yeah, good afternoon to everybody on that side and the people on this side. No, we are happy for them. We tend to focus on the thing that we can control, and it's probably mostly the scoreboard. Sometimes these awards get handed out, and then you don't quite understand how and how they get to it. But yeah, we're very proud of those guys, even if they don't get it. At least they were nominated, and yeah. But I guess the way we play on Saturday must try and support them and help them to get closer to that. But we're very thankful to the people, whoever it is, who nominated them, and hopefully the boys can make it. Thank you.
Ken? Ken Warner?
Thanks, Nina. Hi, Rassie. Aviva Stadium's 50th game this weekend. Previously, when guys have reached milestone games, you let them start the match. Aviva on the bench, is that because he loves being an impact player coming off the bench so much, or is it because you love him in that role so much?
Yeah, I probably thought that question is going to come, and it's a valid one. No, it would have been lovely to let him start the match, but I think he also loves to start. He also loves to play as long as he can. Most players do, and he knows his role off the bench. We did have a quick chat about, listen, it's your 50th game. Do you matter playing off the bench? No problem. And he totally understand. He's just two of the other locks not available. And one injured, he's obviously going to be in the team, and that is first and foremost grateful for. And I guess he'll run out in front, and then after that he'll go to the bench, which will feel a bit weird. But he's not worried to sacrifice that for the team. But yes, it would have been lovely to start him. But I think the best for the team is for him to play off the bench.
Condition?
Yep. Hello.
Hello, Kanish.
Good afternoon, Rassie. Good afternoon to everyone. Rassie, was there temptation to play Franco this weekend? Also, how do you feel regarding the setting of the red card?
Yeah, until this morning, I must say, waking up and I'm thinking, shouldn't we go 7-1, 7-1? But, it's just your Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, with Tuesday night, Franco's thing, and last night, Luet's thing. So it's buggered up the training sessions and stuff if you bracket this guy with this guy with this guy. So there's a few guys with niggles that obviously I don't want to say now exactly, because we're going to our 14th match in a row this season, not in a row, but test match level, including the Barbarians. So I'm just glad that if one of our guys do go down in the one training session that left, we were pretty thin at lock. But then, even this morning I thought of chatting to the other coaches and saying, maybe this is a game also to go 7-1. I'm not quite sure what Ireland will go with. But yeah, we confident in the protocols and the process that's followed and will followed. And, I sat in and listened to most of those things, and totally understand how they got to Luet and to Franco's end result. And at the end, if somewhere a mistake was made, but it can be rectified, fantastic, then we'll believe in the system. So he's available, and that's great. But he's just the timing was very difficult to do training sessions and bracket this player with that player. It just became a bit of a mess. So we decided to rather keep it clean, and the guys who could train the whole week, pick them.
Great.
Aye.
Craig?
Craig?
Me, sorry. Thanks, Rassie. Good afternoon. Does the result, I know every test is important, but does the result of this test define your season in terms of being a really successful season or just a good season? How would you categorize the importance of this test?
I don't know if that will describe it or make it at the end of the day, was it a successful or not successful season. I guess the way we play on the day, if we play at our best and Ireland is just better on the day, what can you say? Then Ireland on the day was better. I guess the performance that we show, and you know, on the 14th game of the season, you know, we've been together now since the beginning of June. Here and there we went home. So to keep the intensity and the emotional high of the France game, New Zealand away, New Zealand twice away, and then, you know, Argentina, and there was big test matches, and there were some that were easier, some were with red cards and so on. So I guess and we never, I thought, played always brilliant rugby, never, you know, there's times when we played horrible rugby. So it would be great if we go into this match and we play really, really well to our standards. But then we also know if Ireland play really well to their standards, it will still be a close game. I guess the last 5 results just shows you there's not a lot to pick between the two teams. So yes, we would love to win this game. We would love to say, yeah, we had a great season. We beat Ireland in Dublin, which we haven't done since I've been involved. So it will be great. But to say it will be a disastrous or average season, yeah, I think you're probably right. You know, winning 12 out of 15 games is probably not a great season, and we still have Wales to play. So I think it will define us in a way, but we'll keep reality in our minds.
Mark?
How's it, Rassie? Yeah, well, I don't think any of your guys have won in Dublin. Is that something that you guys are discussing, you know, this big box to tick, or do you try and avoid it so it doesn't become a distraction and, you know, just preparing well is what's important, or is it something that you guys are talking about?
Oh, it definitely comes up. I'm going to lie to you if I say it doesn't come up. That win as a player, but that was many years ago, so that doesn't count. It wasn't at the Aviva. No, look, me personally, I haven't won at the Aviva as a coach, even with Munster. We played the Scarlets in the Pro 14 or Pro 12, Pro 14 final, and we lost here. Play against Saracens in the European Cup, we lost here, and I think we've coached now here 3 times. So part of the coaching team, management team, and we haven't won here. So it's almost as you want to fix something that you never can be done, and I'll be lying if I'm saying. I know there will be headlines tomorrow. Others I want to fix this, and no, it's not revenge. It's a nice competitive environment with a team that's always been the last 2 years in the top 1 to 4 in the world. You know. And yeah, it's this excitement where there's something we haven't done, and let's go and try and do it. So, you know, if we don't get it right, we'll get a lot of flack. But you know, internally we gave away against at Ellis Park. Australia haven't beaten us for years. They came there and they beat us, but life moved on, and we played the All Blacks the next weekend, and we gave them one of the biggest scores in the history of the game. So when you dwell too much on things, you tend to stand still a little bit. But it will be great for all of us to say, hey, we managed to get one in Dublin, because they've certainly had a number in the last couple of games.
Mark, please.
Thanks, good luck.
Thank you.
Rassie, just on that score, talking about Ireland and your history there, is Ireland a big game for you personally? I mean, the All Blacks is obviously huge, but I mean, given all your history with Ireland, coaching there, etc., is it like a special game for you? Is it a really big one, personally?
No, hell, if it's about me, then we're totally talking about the wrong things. I mean, yeah, this team and what they represent, and all the people in South Africa. If it's like for me, a personal, no, hell, but the Irish people learn me. I must know it's nice and spicy when people can build it up. This thing between me and Ireland. And I think if you talk to most of the Irish coaches and people, maybe not the pundits so much, I don't think they enjoy me so much, but I think if you talk to the players, I've got no two ways about it that the things that I learned here in Ireland was something that I want to take this back to South Africa, and I think I've been quoted many times on that. So, I can't say that's personal. It's more the respect that I've learned here for the discipline and how they do things, and the precision farming they do here with not a lot of players. It's something we envied, and it's more, I really try to get that also right in South Africa. And it's more, well, if we get a win here, then it means our South African setup, our players, our coaching team, you know, we got it right eventually. I mean, we've won World Cups in Libraries and Irish Lions series, so making it personal for me, that will be totally the wrong way. You know, it's not me who has got to thing to settle or anything like that. I learned a hell of a lot from the guys here. So it will be nice to beat them as a team here, which is something we haven't done. But I understand your question.
Lee.
Last 2 questions online, Stephen, and then Duke.
Stephen?
Thank you very much. Russ, what has it been that's made Ireland such an awkward opponent for you? I think one thing you did mention, I recall, I think it might have been last year, that they're not an easy side to maul. You know, it's difficult to do a line-out maul. But just from your perspective, what has made them so good?
Well, because I've been a couple of years ago, because I think the way the Irish system, I think it's really great. Again, I'm complimenting them with the amount of players that they do have available and the way they were put together in their high performance programs. In those days it was David Musifora. And as I say, technically a guy always gets better here, and if he doesn't make it, he stops being a rugby player. In South Africa we tend in the past just to go and fetch the next guy, next guy, next guy. So what they do is then to get to the game, all the technical parts of the game, you know, stopping a maul is not always just by pure brute force. It's sometimes by technically swinging around and outsmarting guys with mauls. And at the breakdown, it's not always the boof over the breakdown, but it's you know, Doris doing really good technical things within the law. Even the contesting in the air before the gloving where you couldn't stop, they were brilliant at that. So and I know why they're good at that, because they study a lot and they go and sit and they've got mind gym meetings and sessions, and they understand their running lines precisely, and they know exactly what line out call. If you do it this way, this guy's going to hit here, this guy's going to pull you to the touch, and all within the law. So but if you look at the scores also, you know, the one in the World Cup with the last maul, that just kept us up there, and right call by Ben O'Keefe there. If you looked at the first maul here in 2022, I think, Van der Fleer almost touched his foot, but they scored the try, the vital one. If you look in Durban, the drop goal in the last minute. So it wasn't like we were far off in any of those games, like we were totally outplayed. So I guess we also were a little bit underdone previously when we came here, where our Japanese-based players hasn't played for, I think, 5 weeks when we got here, and we had a really bad start in that game. So I think there's a combination of things, but I think the technicality in which they sort out sometimes the physical area, sometimes we get frustrated with that and doesn't handle that well.
Percy, apologies, your hand was up first, so we'll take you as the last question.
Percy.
Baie dankie Zina, baie dankie meneer Erasmus. Zina, jammer ons kan nie gereeld hoor nie. Rassie, ek gaan net kortliks vraag in Afrikaans. Meneer Erasmus, kan ek net vra, ek weet jy maak eintlik sien agter met hierdie vraag, jy het gesê jy hoor nie fokus op individue nie. Maar kan ek jou vra, my kollegas het heel wat gevra oor die wedstryd teen Ierland. Sê hulle gevra iets oor jou 3 spelers wat genomineer is as wêreldrugby spelers van die jaar. Dit moet ook 'n skoor vir die individuele spelers wees en selfs vir die span wees. En die tweede deel van die vraag is dan Rassie, in die loop van die jaar het jy baie ophef gemaak of baie gepraat oor die seedings vir die einde van die jaar voor die seeding proses vir die wêreldbeker. Is dit tog op julle koppe in die aanloop voor die laaste 2 wedstryde meneer voor die 3 Desember?
Ja, verseker hulle presies. Ek dink die eerste ding is ek dink die seedings selfs al verloor ons met meer as 15 punte. Hopelik doen ons dit nie, of ons wen met meer as 15 punte. Ons kan nie nog punte in hierdie ons Nieu-Seeland speel teen Wallis, so whatever ons doen in hierdie game, ons bly nommer 1 na hierdie ronde. En nou so ons het so 'n bietjie daai monkey van ons skouer af, maar dan die volgende week as ons teen Wallis verloor, kan ons 4 plekke drop. So hierdie week behoort ons nog steeds nommer 1 in die World Rugby rankings te wees. So ek dink daai job is so half, as ons volgende week nie vasval nie, dink ons daai job is so half gedoen, en dan whatever die droog gee moet ons aanvaar as ons nommer 1 is. Ons kan selfs 4de toe move as ons teen Wallis verloor volgende naweek, maar hierdie naweek het nie regtig gebeur op die World Rugby Ponsie, want die All Blacks kan ons nie regtig vang nie, en selfs al wen Ierland ons, hulle is 4de, hulle moet helse ver jump. En na hierdie jaar was die World Rankings baie net vir die draw natuurlik. En dan, baie keer in die verlede het ons gevoel, net die dinge wat binne ons kontrole is, hou ons van om regtig te celebrate soos ons internal man of the match en wat ons Suid-Afrikaanse mense daarvan dink en want dit is baie keer moeilik om te verstaan hoe en wat wie genomineer is en hoe 'n persoon het gekry het en selfs al word al 3 hierdie manne genomineer kan die ander ou dalk kry, jy weet, en so ons wil nie te opgewonde raak, ons is baie trots op die ouens wat daar genomineer is en ons hoop ons performance op die veld Saterdag help daai ouens. Ek weet daar's nou een of twee wat nie of eintlik nie hier is nie en een wat die speel nie, maar ek hopelik maak een van daai manne dit. Ons sal baie trots wees op hulle.
Thank you guys. That concludes the online session. I will send out the recording on WhatsApp. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's good.
All right, guys. Floor open for questions.
Coach Rassie, you mentioned in the past that coming through to Dublin or North, the fabric's been a little bit underdone, a little bit undercooked. You're now at the end of probably one of the longest seasons of international rugby in living memory. Is there a danger that the players are the opposite, they're overdone, and especially if you look at how Ireland have come to form in the last week with their performance against Australia, where they were a little bit underdone themselves against the All Blacks and against Japan?
No, your question. I think one must take it back to when we played the Brilliant Irish Lions in isolation and COVID times. We had no rugby then, we didn't have provincial rugby, but we still had to play the Lions, and we didn't have Currie Cup rugby, and then we went on the rugby championship in isolation then somewhere in Australia, and you have to overcome those situations, and then in 2022 when we came here, we were definitely underdone, but that doesn't come right in 1 week, so I guess that first game against Japan was to get the Japanese players back into the swing. Then the next game obviously was a massive game. Then it's France away. Then we rested some guys against Italy, not because we disrespected them, because taking the guys from the same high of the French game and going into this massive game against Italy, because the Italian team, in my personal opinion, are really dangerous. I really find, I'm not saying this with trying to butter something up. For me, they've got a great backline and great coach and really guys who could beat us. So we thought, but taking that same team, playing them again, and then after them playing Ireland in the same week, doing that 3 weeks in a row would be pretty tough. So hopefully our team are pretty fresh, but not underdone, and ready for an Irish team that's definitely. The last 3 games, the games went up every week. I know the All Blacks game were tough, but the All Blacks are always tough, so.
You've obviously got Kenan Moody starting on the wing for Cody Arnsler, who's gone back to South Africa.
Yeah.
Is that a reflection on his aerial ability over potentially Ethan Hooker, or was there a decision to be made around that? Or?
No, it was a tough call. Curtly got concussion, and he went back, so now between Kenan and even between Ethan, Kenan and Jesse, it was a tough call, maybe throwing 1 or 3 of them in at centre, but Jesse and Dukes playing for a while now. I guess it will be, in my opinion, it will be Bundy and Ringrose, I don't know if I'm right, but I guess that will be the matchup there. And there Jan will be low against Cheslin, and then the guy that surprised, I can't remember his surname now, I know he's 27, 28, will be against Kenan, who's also Rassie's son. Yeah, Tommy O'Brien. I'm all impressed with him. I couldn't believe he's 27, 28. I haven't seen a lot of rugby of him, but he certainly plays a hell of a game. He will be against Kenan, I think, and then the wonder boy there at the back, So it's a great challenge for our backline. Yes, so difficult choice. It wasn't difficult.
And then, so you alluded to the guy at the back there. What last one? Mac Hanton, 3 tries on his return. Are you sort of planning for anything spectacular from him?
No, James Lowe is difficult to keep under, to stop, and Bundy is, and the Ringrose is, and this O'Brien guy is, and so and Gibson Park runs the game like a machine, and it will probably be, I think, Van Vleer and Conan and I'm not sure. I think Bernard Locke, probably with Ryan. Probably start with the other front row and play probably Porter through and later Furlong and start with. Yeah, so it's tough to say, listen, we worried about him because under the names 14 to 23 or 2 to 23, there's 1 to 23, there's brilliant players. So singling him out just because he was really awesome. And I think he's an awesome player. I will be focusing on one player, which wouldn't be sharp.
Rassie, you landed at a time in Dublin, in Ireland, when we think we can beat anybody, and just because you're world champions, that's fine. We've just beat Hungary, we've just beat Portugal. Are you aware that the country's gone sport mad and that you're our next target?
Your country?
Yeah, we've just had two stunning soccer wins, which has driven the place nuts. And as far as we're concerned, you're the next piece of red meat. So are you aware of that?
Totally.
You've just named our team for us. I'm telling you, we've got a lot of fans here.
Sorry?
You've just named our team for us, so I thought I'd move it on and talk about our fans.
Well, now I'm thinking what your team is, because he asked us how we would do against the fullback, and I still we generally think.
No. Do you know you've come at a great time? Everybody's very expectant here. There's a big sporting wave.
Yes. No, we watched that game. Jerry is with us, Paddy is with us, and Felix is with us, and they were watching that game. We were in different stages, and some guys were in a plane, but they were watching the game. The guys just beat them, so we know all about that. And the guys had qualified, and the guys were really proud. For us, it's massive coming. Yeah? I mean, we know what the vibe's going to be like on Saturday. It's fantastic. It's lekker. No, we appreciate what you're saying, and we're seeing it as much of a privilege, and we understand that we're the red meat that you guys want to eat. So, we must either way and try and see how we can get past your mouths.
I don't want to dismiss Durban, but if I was to go back to Japan, we beat you in Japan. My memory of that match is that you didn't kick enough. You could have taken some penalties and beaten us easy there. What's your memory of the one thing that maybe cost you that game?
In Japan?
France. France.
No, I think they outplayed us, and I think the last like when we played here the last time, we started really bad, and then we built ourselves into the game. But with Sexton still in the mix there, he just knew how to squeeze it out of us and control the game a hell of a lot. I remember he just came back off the suspension or something, and he controlled that game so well. And it was a held-up maul, and which was a held-up maul. So, and we were very emotional after that game because it was very close to being a try. So, no, I just think they were really much sharper in the final moments of the game, in my opinion.
Hi, Rassie. You've a strong Irish presence, obviously now stronger the backing piece. Why has that worked so well for you? What is it about the three lads you put and the Irish maybe mindset that suits you guys?
Yeah, exactly. I think what I try to say, what I learned here, and when you move on, you tend to become South African again and forget the ways in which different countries do things. And Fla has been to the Harlequins now in the meantime, so he's picked up some skills there. Tony from New Zealand is we get a little bit of that. Our players are playing all over the world, so we get a bit of that influence from all over. And then, Paddy was worked at Munster, but he was at Montpellier in France, so he understands sort of the northern hemisphere teams and so on. And Felix, the job Felix been doing, Felix been more in legal work the last 2 weeks, helping with the preparation of the appeal and hearings of the two locks. He's on a lot of committees for us. He's a really sharp guy, not just in coaching. We like we've got an Englishman as our SNC coach, and then we've got John Bille from New Brighton and me from Dispatch and the next one. So we like to not just think we as South Africans have all the answers, and that's one of the things.
Your good friend Jacques Nienaber did each, I think, with Matthew.
Yeah.
You saw said he misses the Springboks and mentioned his contract with Leinster finishes at the end of the domestic season in 27. Obviously, the World Cup. Do you see a world in which Jack could be back with the Boks?
Definitely, no. I see a world where I had lunch with him yesterday. We always see each other whenever there's an opportunity. When he comes to South Africa, or we're South Africa here, we never want to ruin his relationship and reputation here in Ireland. But if Jack tells me or Ireland allow him to consult in the year of 2027, and we have the money to afford him in that year, there's no egos in our management coaching team. We'll a brain like him will But I think the Irish might also use him, or the English might use him. He's got that. I don't know what his contract say exactly, but yes, we will have a look at that.
Tanya?
Rassie, you mentioned the frustrations you had about coaching Boks after that game. What was the kind of talk this week, at training? I'm just interested to know if it got extra attention from your side, because you never know what you're going to get.
I think you say it right, but it is not really right. You actually most of the time know what you're going to get if you level change and wrap. And with Felix being on the calibration group committees, I give you my word. I can give you minutes on what we spent on level change and wrap and the check zone and everything. So I think if you look at our actual record on low tackles and dominant tackles, you'll find that with tall guys, we were doing pretty well with that. So it's the one or two accidents, and then, it is foul play because somebody got hurt and there might have been head contact or not hand contact. So it's not that you're going to get there that you're uncertain. It's maybe just in the heat of the moment, the pressure, the crowd, the referee, the screen is 70 meters away, he can't see the finer details. So I think sometimes you just, okay, that's a clear red, but maybe just calm down, send it to the bunker, check it out, and let it stay a red. But 2 permanent reds, I don't think, we as South Africans don't think we're getting nailed. We're trying to say, listen, just understand, go and look at our record of all tackles. There's just standing out these 2 red cards, and then there's a good record. We don't even give a penalty away with 14 men in the whole second half on defense in both games. So we're quite disciplined there, but it's a bit of I don't know, it's an anomaly or whatever we say to have 2 red cards like that. And definitely, we don't feel somebody's trying to nail us. We just want to make sure that people know we work a hell of a lot on level change, wrap, and check zone. So that's, yeah.
That's
It's you. Watch.
I'm not sure who you predicted that number 10 for Ireland, but it's Sam Prendergast.
I think Peter Branch. But I really don't want to sound arrogant when I say this. We have to prepare for the player that we think is going to play. I know Crowley will be on the bench or the other way around, but whichever one comes on, then the other one seems to play better with the one who started. So it was quite tough for us to prepare because both of them are class.
If you need Prendergast, what kind of picture does he present out there about?
Yeah, even Sasha played junior Boks against them. They're the same age. They played in the junior ball champs. What's that competition called? You know what I'm talking about. And they played against each other there, so they've come a long way. For me, big fellow. It looks like he always wants the ball in his hands. He's got guts. I saw the kick he kicked last weekend. When he found that Jorgensen napping there at the back. I think people are talking about his tackling, that there's maybe a weakness there, but I see him go really hard. And he's a big boy and he looks pretty fit. I read a bit about his background. I think he's got a toughness about him, but so let's hope and see how Sasha does against him.
Rassie, speaking about Sasha, I think last year he played all 3 out of 2 games each with the championship. Then I think he played all 3 out of 1 game each at the end of the year tour. But since round 4 of the Rugby Championship, he played such a fine for team going to 4. This will be 5th, 6 games, I think, something like that. So there's been a bit of a change in tack. I was just wondering why that is. What growth have you seen in Sasha's game over the last year?
The first thing is Andre is actually also out of this game with Achilles injury. So he's also not available for selection. But I'm not saying we were going to select him. I'm not using that as an excuse. I think we would have selected Mani and Mani on the bench with Grant and Sasha starting. And I think Andre understands at 31. I mean, Johnny played till he was 38. So Andre knows he's got another World Cup in him. I think he understands that we want to learn lessons from Sasha. Every game, playing in France, they're under the pressure. That's a different thing. Playing here on Saturday with Zombie playing, understanding that bit of pressure that comes with that. So I guess growing him from another level to another level of another centre next to him, we try and keep the combination of him and Cooper's pretty tight. So, they're also the Stormers pairing now. So, but having nice security and Mani on the bench and Grant and also then Andre and Gaza, Damien Willems can go to 10. you'll hear, and I know what, if you have a word in English called a snot clap, but you can get a snot clap, which is like a slap in the face somewhere, and just, this is different level. And that's going to happen somewhere to him, and then he must handle that. And we still try to get him through all of those different stages of intensity.
And so have you seen growth in him?
Yes,
What ways?
No, in the beginning, very confident, but struggled to go and express himself without thinking. He's buggering up the game plan, and then starting to understand, but listen, there's a place for your skill in the game plan. Then starting to really talk and ask a lot of questions, and then really demanding a little bit more from the guys around him, because the 10 is pretty much running the back line and the plays and stuff. So he's always got the talent on the field, but I think he's growing and feeling comfortable, but I know he'll be very uncomfortable in this colder on Saturday.
Question over here.
Given the way the Test series ended in summer 2024, is this a game you've kind of had in your sights for some time?
You know, the French, that game was in the French sites. All Blacks twice away in New Zealand, that's massive. If you go and ask them, and we say, no, we're waiting for the Irish game, they would have said that you're disrespecting us. If I say this game is in our sights, what about the French game? Argentina, they clubbed the Lions, they clubbed Australia almost twice. So it is a massive game. Obviously, man, there's been good history between us, and there's been banter with the fans and the pundits and so on. So it is a massive game. But guess if we lost to France and we lost to New Zealand twice, what the nature of this game were going to be? We were going to be in survival mode. But now the game is nice and pitched up. They're fourth on world rankings. We won. We've got a really full calendar. This is their last test match of the year. But then Leinster almost goes sort of right of that straight into URC. And our players split all over the world to Japanese, French leagues, Premiership. So obviously still Wales next week. So yes, I thought the build-up to this is now perfect, because this is now the next best thing after we've played France and those games are. So it's a massive one for us.
Honestly, it struck me a little bit this week in the earlier press conference on Tuesday that, do you feel there is a disrespect around what South Africa have achieved, just in general, in terms of your twice world cups, won the Rugby Championship, but is there a lack of appreciation for what you've actually done, maybe in the Northern Hemisphere, about you're not being lauded correctly?
So I'm going to be honest with you. I think I'm talking about me personally. The only thing that sometimes gets to me is it's not. We don't want people from the outside world to start supporting us and say, "Oh, well done, we do." Definitely not. We don't care if people don't rate us in the way we. But when people start questioning how we play the game, the spirit of the game, why we do things. We don't analyze England and Ireland and comment on how they pick their teams and how their structures are and why their structures are like that and are they kicking too much. You won't hear our commentators even talking about that. They don't delve into the opposition. And our South African mindset is just like that. Listen, man, let us do our thing. And you don't have to respect what we're doing, but look at the scoreboard and you can decide if you like us or not. But I guess. No, we don't feel disrespected by anybody, and I feel that it's a good, healthy, competition between us and the Irish especially. But don't always overanalyze what we do in our camp. This is sort of our team, and if we get it wrong, you beat us on the day. Hey man, give us shots. We understand it.
Last question.
Rassie, can I ask, with the change in the format, so the Nations Championship this year, and there'll be potential silverware on the line there.
Yes.
Do you think that's going to add more spice, more fuel to the fire to the autumn series and to then also the summer series? And what are your thoughts on that as a top competition format?
No, it's a jam-packed year. Next year, we've got 3 incoming games, which obviously now counts for league points in the autumn series. I think England, Scotland, and Wales, if I'm correct. And then we've got the greatest rivalry, which is 4 games against New Zealand, and then we've got Australia and Argentina. And then we again come to Ireland, we again play France there, Ireland here. So many of us thought in our group, before that draw came out, we thought, oh, it will be our last go here at Ireland as this specific group together, because some guys are getting old and contracts might not be renewed of some coaches and so on. So we actually thought this is our last go. So I can now tongue in cheek say if we don't do it on Saturday, we've got a chance again next year. But we'll never go that way. So yeah, it's a nice competition, but it's almost like a mini World Cup for Tier 1 nations. That's what it, for me, boils down to.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think that we should just do.
Yeah.